of steel and iron making, and as also the weaknesses and lacunae that we have to look into as well. Next in the list of our eminent speakers is Shri M.V. Johar Purkar, Vice President, Strategic Accounts Management, ABB India Limited. Sir, we are privileged to have you on stage.
Very warm good afternoon to all the distinguished dignitaries here and all the delegates. But this is a presence of all industry brains, I would say, collected at a very hospitable place, hospitality in the sense of the weather, the ambience, and I think QCFI has done a wonderful job here in association with SAIL BSP in holding this event, the first of its kind with QCFI. Tremendous work has gone behind this, and with the sessions which will start post-lunch, I'm very sure there will be a lot of learning which will come out of these sessions. My job, I will say, have been made very simple. My eminent guests and colleagues have spoken in a lot of depths and given a tremendous amount of insight on what is prevailing in the steel industry today and what the future holds. What are the challenges that are going to come in the industry, and what are their thoughts and strategies towards that. So I'll just try and keep it a bit brief in trying to just sort of summarize what I think has been said. Yeah, I think all the speakers have spoken about a lot of strategies which are required to run this very crucial sector, the steel sector. And most of these strategies evolve on, I will say, some 5 fundamental principles: the operational efficiency, the carbon footprint, productivity, availability, and safety. And I don't think there is any specific priority that is set. It all changes with respect to time, with respect to the situation which we are in. But then the thought process, I think, is based on these fundamental principles. And we have heard how these principles will really affect the development of the steel sector in the coming years. And if you see I'll just touch upon the National Steel Policy, the recent one which has been announced. And if you see, these principles are ingrained in what has been written in the policy. It talks about availability of quality steel. It doesn't just say steel. It emphasizes quality steel. So it really gives a lot of emphasis on how to make green steel, what are the processes and the systems to be put in place to manufacture quality steel. And it talks of ambitious production targets in the next, say, 10 years. All this to make the common life more better, to have more better infrastructure in place in India. So this is a very important document, and I think all the captains of the industry here today have spoken in depth about how this is being implemented in their own industries, in their own installations. We know the steel making has some very specific characteristics. It is definitely a very, very highly resource-intensive sector. On a thumb rule, what I understand is about 4,000, 5,000 crores you need to make 1 megawatt of steel. Yes, we have heard so much of production is being planned, and I'm very sure a lot of huge pockets already exist flushed with money to manufacture these steel targets. Energy, in terms of energy also, this sector is extremely intensive in terms of the requirements of the power. What will be required is about doubling the kilowatt what is available today in terms of power. What will be required is about 16,000 megawatts of power to be available to manufacture, say, about 270 or 300 tons of steel. So it's a huge demand. So steel alone, on its own, cannot really progress unless and until you have the other enabling infrastructures in place, whether it is power plants, whether it is in terms of availability of water, etc., etc. I think the earlier speakers have spoken in depth about the environmental aspects. What I gather, I'm not a metallurgist, but what I gather is the amount of carbon dioxide which is emitted in the environment to produce 1 ton of steel is huge. And what I understand is that with manufacturing of 275 tons, so there will be almost 120 tons of steel which is being currently manufactured, currently emitted in the environment when we are at about 80 tons of production. So it's a huge amount of carbon dioxide which is already emitted in the atmosphere. All these things, I think, lead us to believe that there is a huge amount of technology, and Mr. Bhatnagar really rightly pointed out that this is the really requirement of the day, because it's not only just produce steel, but then produce with a lot of technology adaptations, and Mr. Mohanty also touched this, that it cannot be just new technology. There will have to be a very close marriage between the existing plants, the existing systems, the existing technology and the new technology, how both can go hands in hand together. And this is going to be very important. And technology is not only in terms of the production facilities, but technology also in terms of the automation part of it, which somehow, not much importance, I think, in my personal opinion, is there still in the country and in the world also. But in terms of automation, I think there is a huge amount of technology opportunities which exist. And ABB is one company which is in this field in India. I just spent a few minutes to give you an overview of what we have been doing in the steel sector, in particularly what way ABB has been involved. Just a few minutes from now, I just try to pick up what the national steel policy targets are. There are a lot of numbers. I don't want to go through them. In particular, I'll just take again the first two targets, the specific energy consumption, where they say that 6.3 is the per gigacalories of ton of energy consumption which is existing, and the target is to make it at 4 or 4.5, which is the world standard. It's a pretty big jump. And similarly, if you see carbon dioxide emission, there's also a huge shift which is being contemplated, huge targets which have been put in place from 2.5 to 2. Now, if you just try and do some very simple arithmetic, what is the type of savings that we are trying to see here? If we just say 275 or 300 million tons of steel in 2025, we're talking of almost 500 gigacalories of energy saving as a potential. And this is huge number. Huge number in terms of the production capacities, in terms of the total cost of ownership of the steel plants. And similarly, if we have the right technologies, the right processes, the type of carbon dioxide emissions which can be controlled is also very huge. So again, it boils down to what sort of technologies the various technology suppliers can provide to the steel industry. And I think that's where the huge amount of potential lies. ABB, as I said, has been involved in this globally. It's a pretty big company, and a lot of these 145,000 people involved are in the process industries, which cater to industries like steel. The vision of ABB also, if you just read that, is also talking about how for all our customers, how we can make power available to them in a very efficient manner, and there is a stress on the environment part. it talks about the energy efficiency part, it talks about the environment part. So our policies and the technology that we try and make it available to our customers is ingrained in this vision. And I think why this has been able to do is the amount of focus that ABB has on R&D. There are huge amount of initiatives which are there throughout the world. There's a lot of expenditure which has been spent on that. There's a lot of association with various industries, various universities, and the initiatives involved in this. So R&D is going to be a major enabler in the growth in the process industries and the steel sector in particular, I'd say. Talking about India, I'll just give a very brief glimpse that we are structured, into 5 major divisions. What is more important, I'd say, is that India occupies a very important role in the ABB family in terms of not only the revenue numbers or the growth numbers, but in terms of the technology, R&D developments that we do in India. And I'll not take much time out this, but we talked about the technology, how it can be a big enabler, what sort of technologies that are prevailing, and what sort of advancements which are really necessary. We have been very fortunate to have worked with all the steel majors in the country, and we've been able to learn with them. I think this has been a co-learning experience. Whether we talk it in the primary steel sector or in the rolling mill sector, whether we talk in terms of various products that we have, and I think this co-learning has really helped in the advancement of technology also. Again, as I said, this is a great forum, a forum where I think a lot of co-learning, cross-learning opportunities are plenty. And congratulations to QCFI and Bhilai Steel Plant to having made this occasion happen. A very great efforts. A lot of I think the organizers have really put in a lot of their time in that, despite being occupied with the day-to-day work. And this occasion has really come out well with so many eminent thought leaders in the room. I'm very sure that we'll come out and learn a lot of new things, and we'll be able to come out with a lot of actions in our own respective areas. So I wish this conclave a huge success, and wish you all the very best, and thank you very much.